Every pregnancy needs utmost care and attention. But certain pregnancies need a little extra attention. An Rh negative mother carrying an Rh positive baby is at increased risk of complications. BSV is at the forefront to ensure safe delivery in every Rh negative pregnancy.
One centimeter is all that cost India the World Cup semi-final berth. 1 centimeter is all that has sulky faces in the Indian camp, joy in the West Indies hotel room. As India lose the thriller on the last ball by 3 wickets, a half century by Mignon Dupree takes South Africa over the line, over the last ball. I have with me Boria Majumdar and Mohit Shah. And of course, Dhanevan Nikak will join in sometime. I don't have words, guys, but yeah, let me start with Boria. Boria, luck plays a very important role. That penalty made ball 1 centimeter. If that wouldn't have been a no ball, it would have been three of the last ball which Shabnim Ismail on strike. Yes, that 1 centimeter costs in everything.
Agree. I mean, in sport, you need that little bit of luck, Yash. And we have always said that you need that little bit of luck. Unfortunately, India did not have it. And that no ball was actually what you very rightly said. It was 1 centimeter. Even if she had landed her foot, maybe it would have been in because it was Upar, that on the line belongs to the umpire. And then 3 runs, Shabnim Ismail, you would have obviously sort of backed Deepti Sharma to have protected that. Maybe a single, India would have won that game. But that's what sport is. That Smriti Mandhana drop of Mignon Dupree, again a straight catch that went to Smriti. Nothing to take away from her. I mean, she's been outstanding. That dive that she put in, it was almost a dive for her life. So, these things happen in sport. That's why sport is so cruel. I mean, it is all real, not real. I mean, and that half a centimeter, 1 centimeter. I mean, imagine what Deepti Sharma must be going through. 2017, that catch when India was cruising, Deepti Sharma, and today that 1 centimeter, Deepti Sharma. I mean, how on earth can God be so cruel on a youngster and a young lady? These things happen in sport. It's happened with her twice at a matter of 4 years. And that catch, the Harmanpreet Kaur, I mean, come on. She gave it her all to it. All. Whether it is with the bat, on the field, with the ball, the runouts, the whole Indian team. I mean, did you see the reaction at the end of that catch from Harman, from Mithali, from everyone? India knew they had it. And then that no ball. I'm sure Mohit wants to come in here, but it's hard to digest. I mean, this is one game which, I've been watching cricket for 25, 30 years. Been working on it for 25 years. This will be one game I will take a lot of time to forget and digest because we were there. We had put in our 200% and then that catch and then that no ball.
Wait, first reaction.
Yeah, definitely. I think the ODI World Cups have been historically heartbreaking for India, be it in 2017 or today, and it's really hard to process whatever happened at the end there. And Boryada said, it's a matter of few inches ultimately, but also credit where it's due. I think South Africa were in control of the chase for a large portion, and it was probably Harmanpreet Kaur's efforts with the ball and in the field which brought India back into the match. And as an Indian, it's obviously very heartbreaking to see them lose in the fashion that they did, because especially after that celebration and everything, you could see how much it meant to the players, how keyed in they were. You could even see the players who were not playing, like Poonam Yadav, Jhulan Goswami, who've been around for so long. They were so involved and they really wanted India to win, I'm sure everyone did in the country. But yeah, that's how sport is sometimes. Sports can be cruel, and today I think India was just unfortunate to end up on the losing side, because at the end of it, I don't think there was much to separate the two teams. And ultimately, I think India will be happy with their display because they took the top two teams in Australia and South Africa to the final over, and both the matches were very close and they were in it for a long time. So I think India can take a lot of positives, but in the immediate aftermath, there is disappointment. But I think when they look back at this campaign, there will be positives to come out of it.
So what happened was, of course, heartbreaking for India, for Mithali, for Jhulan who couldn't play today. Their careers come to an end with this spectacular match, a spectacular World Cup, a last ball thriller. Of course, India couldn't go over the line if we just go by the points table. South Africa have been really good this tournament. They finished the league stage on 11 points, second only to Australia. Only lost that one game against Australia. They have on 11 points. England with 8, 7 West Indies qualify. So the semi-finals are Australia play West Indies and England plays South Africa. So England plays South Africa. That is what was decided 100 balls before the match got over. And now West Indies will play Australia. The winners, of course, of both the semi-finals will face each other in that grand final in Christchurch on April 3rd. Let's just have a look at how the match went. We saw Lizelle Lee getting out pretty early, but then it was the Lara show, 80 for Laura Woolward, 49 for Lara Goodall. But after that wicket of Laura Woolward, it was the Harmanpreet Kaur magic that happened. Harmanpreet Kaur came into the attack for the very first time this entire tournament, took the important wickets of Laura Woolward, then Sune Lees, then she was involved in that run out of Marizan Cup. Let's have a look at that batting scorecard once. We'll have a look. She was also involved in Trisha Chetty's run out that later happened. So if you just see from the Indian side, it was Kaur in at least 5 of the total 7 dismissals that happened. But that important innings from Laura Woolward and then Mignon du Preez. I think so Mignon du Preez's innings, I'll just consider it more important because that just took the game away. Of course, Laura Woolward did her level best. There is nothing wrong. But I think so it was Mignon du Preez's innings that just... Because you, in pressure situation, you require big match player. Of course, India missed out on Jhulan Goswami today. But yes, let's talk about South Africa, their campaign. It has been great. Let's talk about Laura Woolward and Mignon du Preez. Let's start with Laura Woolward rather. She has 4 or 5 50s. She just doesn't have 50 in one game. That's against West Indies. The rest all the games she has 50s. 80 of 79 today. Buryada, I'll start with you. How good is she? She's just 22-year-old. Already has 400 runs this World Cup, the only player to do so this particular World Cup, and she's just 22.
She's great. You're asking how good is she? She's destined for greatness, and it's not today that we are saying it. We've been saying this for a while about Laura Woolward. I mean, look at the way she bats. She's got every shot in the book. She's superb. I mean, her timing, her fitness, her elegance, her class, everything stands out, and unfazed by pressure. Plays spin very well, plays fast bowling well. I mean, it's almost a complete package at the age of 22, something that you don't really see with international players. So South Africa blessed to have her. Outstanding innings, even today when India started well. India were tight. There was a shade of movement for Meghna Singh. And when that Lizelle Lee run out happened, it was 15 or 5 overs. So India was tight. Just thereafter, Laura Woolward just took it away, allowed Lara Goodall to settle. And that incredible innings by Laura Woolward. So yes, I mean, Harmanpreet Kaur magic brought India back, but that innings, outstanding. I mean, you asked how good she is. She's wonderful. I mean, she's absolutely sensational. If South Africa goes on to win this World Cup, you will have to have a Laura Woolward magic against Australia, a real magic against Australia, because you've got to beat Australia with individual brilliance. Otherwise, that collective unit of Australia is almost unbeatable. And someone who can put her hand up and deliver is actually Laura Woolward. She's that good. Fantastic player.
Fantastic player. And I think so the way she started 80 runs of 79 balls, generally what we've seen this entire World Cup, Laura Woolward has batted at 70 75, 80, 85 strike rate. But today she was in that mid-landing mode. He never ever gone down at less than a run a ball. She was consistent there, and I think that is what put the pressure on India. Mohit, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there are two things which stand out to me about Laura Wolfart. She's had a great tournament, and as the two of us were discussing earlier today, she's on course to end with the most runs in a single edition of the World Cup. I think she needs 23 more. So that shows how consistent she is. And more importantly, whenever she's batted well, South Africa have won. So the two things that stand out about Laura Wolfart are her temperament and her game awareness. Like you were saying, like she's generally gone about at a strike rate of 75, 80. But today, because the asking rate was already over 5.5, she was like aggressive right from the outset. And like Boryada said, the bowling from India was actually quite good in the power play, and she put away quite a few good deliveries, which weren't like half trackers or overpitched balls through the offside for boundaries, and that puts a lot of pressure on the bowlers. So someone like Meghna Singh is not very experienced, and she'd actually made a good start. But the way Laura Wolfart was batting, I think she felt the pressure, and then the loose ball started coming along. And what's also impressive is like you said, like she was probably the person to blame for Lizelle Lee's run out because the single was not really on, and most players would have struggled to complete that run. But she didn't let that affect her, and also like guide someone like Lara Goodall, who's not very experienced, who's not played a lot of international cricket through that partnership. And for someone so young, she's still only 22, and her numbers are among the best of all time. I think she's across like all forms of cricket, she's one of only two players to score more than 25 half centuries before the age of 23. So that shows how good she is. And like Boryada said, if South Africa do actually go on to win this World Cup, they'll have a lot to thank Laura Wolfart for.
Of course, they can definitely thank Laura Wolfart once they reach the finals on 3rd of April. They have England in that England in between, and then probably Australia or West Indies in the finals there at Christchurch. Before that, let's have a look at that other player who's probably taken the game away from India. Is Mignon du Preez. 2 times she of course that wicket she was saved 2 times. One by Smriti Mandhana, she dropped her catch, and then that half a centimeter, whatever, that overstepping of that no ball by Deepti Sharma. Otherwise, things would have been a lot different. But Mignon du Preez, 52 not out at the end of it, 63 balls, soaking all the pressure. She just has 2 fours. So a lot dependent on how she was able to put herself at different positions, get those singles, get those doubles, and that is how her entire game worked. It was not about, okay, I want to hit a lot of shots, nothing of that sort. 52 not out of 63 balls, 2 fours, a lot of singles and doubles in that innings. Boryada, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, someone who can soak in the pressure is always handy. But again, I mean, I don't think it was. Again, I mean, I keep coming back to the issue of luck. I mean, nothing to take away from Mignon du Preez. She was good. Even the last shot, you have to keep your nerve. She did, and nothing to take away any credit from her or from the South African run chase. But I just feel, I mean, that catch was a regulation dolly. I mean, if you actually think that no ball catch was a bad shot, if you think in the context of the match, you need what? 3 of 2? All you need is 2 singles, and you go into a super over, and you are the experienced hand. That shot, actually, Yash, if you really contextualize, completely objectively, rationally, was a bad shot. The choice of that shot was a bad shot. So, in fact, had it not been for that no ball, you and I would have been talking about, Mignon du Preez did a misbowl huck. So that's exactly what you and I would have been talking about today. But that's sport. The luck of the draw went her way. She ran away with it. She took the opportunity, grabbed the opportunity, closed that match. But if you just take that one shot, that one ball, I thought Mignon du Preez should have closed out that game with a single, or should have taken South Africa beyond that line, at least tied it and not played that shot, because she had actually handed the match to India.
She handed the match to India, but that didn't happen. India didn't take the match to themselves. They lost the particular match by 3 wickets. Let's have a look at that bowling scorecard once. Um, Preet Kaur Show, the first time she bowls in this tournament, and he is the pick of the bowlers. I think so. There is some mistake in that bowling scorecard. The last player should be Harmanpreet Kaur. 8 overs, 2 for 42. She's involved in 3 runouts. The first one, Leslie, was her own, and then 2 more runouts in there. Uh, and the others also, of course, 2 more wickets for Rajeshwari Gaikwad. 10 overs, 2 for 61. Deepti Sharma bowled well, 10 overs, none for 41. Sneha Rana, 10 overs, none for 50, 54. Pooja Vastakar didn't bowl a lot today, 6 overs, none for 37. Let's just speak about Harmanpreet Kaur at the moment. The athlete Harmanpreet Kaur, we just saw her. He scored 48 first, then 3 runouts, 2 wickets. Didn't bowl in the entire tournament. Comes today and bowls what? And is your best bowler of the day or best player of the day?
By
So
a
big,
mile. By
yeah,
a
by a
mile. You
mile.
said best player of the day by a mile. I mean, by a country mile. You know, and what was interesting was the energy, the energy that she was bringing to the fore. No debate. I mean, that first run out, she batted well. Then that second run out, even that the way she was throwing her body around when Smriti Mandana saved that boundary. Did you see the way she reacted? Now that's actually what I want from players. That energy, that leadership, tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I mean, Harmanpreet Kaur did everything. This was a classic match of individual brilliance, almost bringing a team on the cusp of victory. Not to take away from the Shafali innings, the Smriti innings, the Mithali innings, but you've got to say the fact that India was in that contest in that very last ball, I would give 50% of that credit to Harmanpreet Kaur. The way she was rallying the team, it was sensational to see. So obviously, the baton will pass. She's, I mean, in my book, she's expected to be the next leader, the next captain, whoever is the vice captain. Maybe Smriti or Deepti also got it for a while. But Harmanpreet Kaur definitely in the reckoning. Whether they'll make her captain of both formats or go to Smriti is something the selection committee will decide. But nonetheless, she will be a leader in that dressing room for sure. Today was evidence that she's a strong personality, and come at the hour, she brought out that strong personality, helped Mithali Raj in every possible way, in setting the field, doing it with the ball, except one bowling change. I thought the captaincy and the planning was perfect, and that was Pooja Vastrakar, because Pooja wasn't having a good day. And that 1 over, when they went to Vastrakar and there were 3-4s or 2-4s, Mignon du Preez went back and played one towards fine leg. I thought if you had taken pace off the ball like the way India was doing, that for me was a bit of a turning point. Had that over not been bowled. So 3 critical points, Yash. One was that catch, Smriti Mandana. One was obviously the no ball. One was that Pooja Vastrakar thing. And to sort of hide all of this, like an overarching tree, was Harmanpreet Kaur. The performance was, put your hand up, I mean, and say that, take a bow. Take a bow, because it was one of those rare, extraordinary feats of brilliance by somebody with the ball and on the field. Tremendous stuff.
The one line important from Mithali Raj's post-match captain's chat comes out is, everything should come to an end. It will take time to settle the emotions, but that is sport. Of course, the girls aren't doing really well. They are sad. Everyone is sad. But we took it down the wire. Of course, we couldn't win it. But yeah, that is what Mithali Raj says at the end of it all. Let's just celebrate both their careers. Both Mithali Raj and Kulin Goswami retire. Let's just celebrate their careers. If I can have the graphics on the screen, first for Mithali Raj. Let's have a look at her all format numbers. All format international careers, 12 tests, 699 runs, 232 ODIs, 7,805 runs, 89 T20Is, 2,364 runs, a mammoth total of more than 10,000 runs, average of 50.68, 700s and 64 50s. Just if we have a look at her ODI numbers as well, 232 matches, an average of 50.6 at 764 50s. That's insane. And just having a look at her World Cup numbers, what has she done in the World Cups? 38 matches, 1,321 runs at an average of 47.17, 13 50 plus scores, including 200s. That's Mithali Raj for you guys. The career comes to an end. What it's been 23-year long career, but what a career it has been. A legend of the sport, probably the greatest of all time. This phrase is used a lot of times, but this is the day to say thank you, Mithali, for all that she's done in her 23 years of career. Bhuya, you've known her very closely. More than a family or more than anything, the player, the persona, the legend that she is. I'm actually getting goosebumps by even saying this particular thing that she's retiring. But yeah, over to you.
She's a habit. You said insane. Insane is the word. Insane is actually the word. 50 average over a period of 22 years for somebody. How do you describe such a player? Sensational, greatest. These are adjectives. But as I said, for me, she was a habit. Indian women's cricket, Mithali Raj. Indian women's cricket, Jhulan Goswami. Look, there is no need for me or you or Mohit to say how good she is or was as a batter. I use the word was with a lot of pathos. But make no mistake, nobody can ever take it away from her that she will be remembered as one of the greatest to have played that sport. The only thing, that World Cup title. 2005 she came close. 2017 she came close. 2022 she came 1 inch from making the semi-final. So that's what sport is all about. You don't get it all. The difference between a Tendulkar and a Raj, Tendulkar got it in his 6th attempt at that World Cup. Raj goes out without winning the World Cup, just like Raj, Jhulan Goswami does as well. So that way, but Mithali Raj, no debate. No debate. Look, somebody who scores a 70, even in her last game. I mean, she's going out at a time when she still had cricket, but she's. I mean, I might sound biased because she's family to me, but we are all privileged. We are all privileged to have watched Mithali Raj in action for the last 20 years because the sport today is poorer. Without a Jhulan Goswami, without a Mithali Raj, the sport itself is poorer. She was the perfect devotee to her temple, and the temple is the sport. Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami going out, the temple will miss two of their ardent devotees. Tremendous careers, we will always celebrate, but you know what? That last missing piece of silverware continues to be missing. And that's what sport is. It is cruel. It is very cruel. It will take time to sink in. But thank you, Mithali Raj, like you said. What bundle of memories. One innings after the other. One shot after the other. I mean, all of these things. I mean, and you close your eyes and all of a sudden they come like picture postcards, like vignettes, right? But Yash, what a career, what a player, what a legend, what a star.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think like she's easily one of the greatest of all time, if not the very greatest of all time. And we spoke about this in the pre-show as well. Like she's someone whose value to the team and to the game also goes a lot beyond sheer numbers because she's someone who's been like the sheer longevity is one thing. To be at the top of your game for 22 years is one thing, but we also need to look at how much the game has evolved and changed in these 22 years. Like Boryada said, like she was there when the support was minimal, the viewership was a lot different to what it is now, and even then she was India's best batter. And even today she got a half century and was among the top scorers in the match. So this is a player who's managed to stay relevant for so long and also like evolve so much and adapt so much with the changing conditions. And you just need to look at how players from opposing teams look at her. Like we've had so many moments in this World Cup where like players from opposition teams have spoken so glowingly of both Mithali Raj as well as Jhulan Goswami. And I'm sure a lot of the people who are currently in the Indian team grew up watching Mithali Raj, grew up idolizing her, and wanted to be cricketers and wanted to serve the country like her. So the kind of impact that she has had on the game, she's probably one of the best captains of all time as well. She's captained in more World Cup matches than anyone else. She has scored more World Cup 50s than anyone else. And she's always delivered on the big stage or in low profile matches. So the kind of impact that she has had, it won't do justice to like sum it up in just words. And like the two of you said, like all we can do today is be thankful for her and celebrate the long and successful career that she has had. She might not have had a World Cup title, but she's won plenty of other things, and her contribution, I think, ultimately is invaluable because of the intangible things that she's done for Indian cricket over the years. So yeah, all we can do today is be
Mohit
thankful.
said it nicely there, Yash. 2005, when India won the World Cup, soon after that, they had to travel in after that, after making the final, they had to travel in unreserved compartment sitting next to a toilet. Ask Mithali and Jhulan and they'll tell you the story. From sitting next to a toilet in a second class unreserved compartment to today's central contracts, WIPL, multiple white ball finals, BCCI taking the sport to a different level, cover of multiple magazines, leading to the birth of a platform like a Women's Cricket Zone and Red Sports, doing these shows. Think about yourself, about Mohit, about me, and think, had it not been for a Raj and a Goswami, would we actually have been analyzing the sport like this is? Think of the economy that they've spun. Think of everything. How many people are now part of the sport thanks to these two ladies? Think of the macro impact they are leaving behind. That's real legacy for you. You've transformed the country. You have transformed a whole legion of people. You have inspired and created aspirational tales for thousands and lakhs and millions of girls. How on earth can we just thank them in one show?
There aren't words to even thank Mithali Raj for her contributions to the game. 10,000 plus runs over a 23-year period, 50 plus average, getting in all those young players, developing them over a period of time. Of course, as Goriada mentioned, growing the economy of the game, bringing the sport. Even a discussion of the women's IPL, which is probably set to take place next year. What all has Mithali Raj done, we don't even know. And I don't think so we can even jot it down what all she's done. But yes, that has been a stupendous career. I really would have hoped she would have gotten a farewell match, but that's not to be at the moment, at least. Coming from one legend to another, let's talk about the other legend who didn't even get to feature in this last game, which could have been her last game due to a side strain, and had to see her team losing those important moments or losing that particular match right from the dressing room, is Jhulan Goswami. Another insane career, more than 200 ODIs. We can see that all format numbers of Jhulan Goswami: 44 wickets in 12 tests, 252 wickets in 201 ODIs, 56 wickets in 68 T20Is. This has been insane. The average, the economy of 3.37. Let's have a look at her ODI numbers: 201 matches, 252 wickets, 2 5-wicket hauls, an average of 21.98. And what a World Cup number she's had. She's the leading wicket taker at the World Cup stats with 43 wickets in 34 matches. Another brilliant economy, 3.45, an average of 21.74. These are insane numbers. If we talk about Mithali Raj's longevity of 23 years, Jhulan Goswami has been there for 20 years. And for a fast bowler to be at the top of her peak for 20 years, I don't know what else should I even be saying. I just remember something recently. England and Wales Cricket Board media manager had tweeted, Hen Cowan had tweeted, that there should be an whatever there should be a type of a statue which reflects Julian Goswami's action outside probably the Eden Gardens. This is a request to Cricket Association of Bengal, BCCI, to do the same. But yeah, let's discuss her career. It's, of course, we've discussed a lot about Mithali. Julian does not deserve anything less.
Yeah, and there is a photograph, just to let you know that outside the facade of Eden Gardens, there is a photograph of Julian Goswami along with Saurav Ganguly and India's World Cup winning moments, MS Dhoni's 2007, 2011 and Kapil Dev's 83. So Julian Goswami is right up there. Both of you guys know she's family, right? So Julian Goswami, unreal. I mean, for a fast bowler to do what she has done, spanning over a period of 20 plus years and staying at the top with this level of commitment and passion, unbelievable. I mean, she taught Indians to bowl fast. I mean, a fast bowler of that caliber, running in, day out. I mean, I call Mithali Raj a habit. Julian Goswami was another one. Last few tours, every time because of COVID that India's travel, she would come to my house the previous day to take masks, because I would get these N95 masks for her and hand them over as a sign of luck. You know, how many memories? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Another true devotee of the sport. The sport is poorer. Cricket today is poorer. We've all been privileged. And here I speak of the entire legion of Indian cricket fans and players to have witnessed Julian Goswami and Mithali Raj over the last 2 decades. We have all been privileged, because very rarely does an MS Dhoni come along, a Tendulkar comes along, a Julian Goswami comes along, a Mithali Raj comes along. These are, they are at a pedestal that few will be able to reach any point in time in their careers. They will forever be remembered as role models, as dreams come true stories, as aspirational tales that changed the story of women's cricket in this country forever. Julian, next time I see you, that hug awaits, but what a career.
Yeah, I think for Julian, like, life has almost come a full circle, because I remember she told us in the piece that we did on her for the cover of our magazine that she first got like inspired to play the World Cup when she was a ball kid for the 1997 final, which was played in Kolkata. And then to go on to play 5 World Cups, become the all-time leading wicket taker in the tournament and in ODIs and in international cricket across formats, shows what a great player she is. And as disheartening as it is to see her not play today owing to an injury, we spoke about it in the pre-match show that it will be a big loss for India, because even at 39, she still leads the Indian attack. She's been India's most successful bowler even in the last 12 months. But Julian being on the sidelines probably shows the kind of player she has been right through her career. Because I think if you speak to any person who's played with Julian Goswami, who's been in close contact with Julian Goswami, they'll tell you that there's never been a greater team player in the history of cricket than Julian Goswami. She's always the first to celebrate the successes of her other teammates. She's always there for the youngest members. She's always there for the senior people. So I don't think there has been a better team player than Julian Goswami. And like Boryada said, like, before Julian Goswami, there were fast bowlers in India. There were good fast bowlers, but she is the one who like changed it all, who inspired so many kids, not just in India, but also from other countries, to bowl fast. Like, we've seen so many overseas bowlers doff their hat to Julian Goswami, players of the caliber of Anya Shrubsole, Elise Perry. All of these are bowlers who are like legends in their own right, who've spearheaded the bowling attacks of their country. And when people like them say that Julian Goswami is probably one of the best of all time and someone who's inspired them and motivated them along their cricketing journey, you realize the magnitude that someone like Julian carries. And more than anything, I think it's also the person that she has been. Like, she's been a great ambassador for Indian cricket. She's brought a lot of glory to Indian cricket. She was the first Indian women's cricketer to win the ICC Cricketer of the Year award almost 15 years back. So, and even now she's in the top 10 in the world ranking. So that just shows you what a remarkable career she's had. And she continues to remain at the top of her game even at this age. Like, even in this World Cup, her numbers stand up. And even in the last match against Bangladesh, she bowled really well. And maybe had she played today, the result could have been different, because what India missed out on was early wickets in the power play and wickets at the death, and that is something that Chulan's been doing right through her career. So maybe she could have been the difference maker today, and it's sad that she didn't get the farewell that she deserves. But ultimately, I think we can all just be thankful and have a lot of gratitude towards these two ladies for what they've done for Indian cricket and also world cricket, because they've taken the profile to an altogether different stratosphere. And yeah, there's nothing but a lot of gratitude for these two women from everyone in India and I guess all across the world.
10,000 plus runs, 350 plus wickets, careers of 23 and 20 years in international cricket come to an end without that silverware that was not to be in 2005, 2017, now 2022. Of course, a sad end to India's campaign, but another thriller here at the ICC Women's World Cup. Let's have a look at that summary once for all. What was the game? 274 was what India put on the board for 7 wickets. Smriti Mandhana 71, Mithali Raj 68, Shafali Verma starting with a 50, Masabata Class and Shabnim Ismail to 2 wickets each. Chloe Tryon takes a wicket. So South Africa chased it down on the last ball with, of course, a lot of hiccups. 275. They chased it down. Laura Wilwart 80, and thankfully Mignon du Preez 52 not out. Rajeshwari Gaikwad 2 for 61. I'm sure it's not Mignon du Preez who takes 2 for 42. That's Harmanpreet Kaur. But yeah, Mignon du Preez takes a lot of credit. South Africa win the game by 3 wickets today. What a game it was. What a thrilling encounter. If the Indian dressing room was sad, South African dressing room was in a lot of joy. But the West Indies hotel room was just beaming with pride, because they now face Australia in the semi-final. England face South Africa in the semi-final. Those are the two semi-finals locked in, 30th March and 31st March. We will join. Okay, let me just before I sign off, let me ask you guys, what's your prediction? Who are your finalists?
Australia, South Africa.
Australia, South Africa, the top table toppers is what Bhuria predicts will be the finalists. Do you have anything else, Mohit?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with him, because I think these two teams have been the standouts right through this tournament. And based on their results, not just in this tournament, but over the last World Cup cycle, I think they deserve to be in the finals. So I think I will agree with Boriada.
And now that South Africa have beaten India, I do not have anything head and heart left. So I will just would want South Africa to win this World Cup, because that's going to be great. Australia winning it, of course, it will just be another thing for them. Okay, come win a World Cup, go back. But South Africa winning a World Cup can definitely change a lot in the sport, because they've invested in the sport for the last 6-7 years, and now can finally bear those fruits. Both the finalists, both the experts predict the finalists will be Australia and South Africa. Just to put it out again, 30th March, 31st March, 2 semi-finals. Australia play West Indies, South Africa play England. Those are the 2 semi-finals that we are going to have. We will have pre, mid and post shows here on Rep Sports and Women's Cricket Zone for both the semi-finals and the finals. Join our experts for them. Of course, India is ruled out of the tournament, but of course there is a lot. There are 3 important games left to see who will be crowned the World Cup champion this particular year. Till then, this is us here on Women's Cricket Zone and Rep Sports presents The Outside View.